So, Steph, we are into quarter 4 at
Mhm.
this point, and we
Yes.
just finished a breaking point in this year of the Lakes region seasonality.
Mhm.
Columbus Day weekend is a
Mhm.
pivotal end to the summer,
Yeah.
to say, and it was very eventful.
Yes.
There was a lot going on in the
It's a
market.
busy weekend.
You were very, very busy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's get a little update on what the market looks like now.
Yeah. I can speak. I mean, the biggest change that we've seen, we've always said fourth quarter going into the fall is still a strong market up here in general. People, whether it's second homes or primary homes, they're wrapping up their summers. They want to either get rid of something before snow flies or just be done with it before the end of the year, which is still true. That's kind of always going to follow us, I think. But I think a lot of people have talked about how they feel like the market has slowed down. And it was interesting this weekend. My experience was we had a waterfront listing that came on last week, and it was something that we thought was attractive and we figured would move, but
Mm-hmm.
you never know how motivating things people are. And this was a level uh, walk in Sandy Beach, southwest facing waterfront property, 100 feet of frontage, standard, just over an acre. A 1984 home. It wasn't a brand new construction or it wasn't a beautiful like remodel or anything by any means. But I was there all weekend. And I didn't even count the showings or the showings I could have had if we had continued. But I was there on Friday. You had shown it. I did a FaceTime showing on Friday. I was there most of the day on Saturday, on Sunday morning. And the sellers had to make a decision about putting a deadline. We put a deadline of Sunday at 5 p.m. We ended up getting 5 offers. I think we would have gotten more. I had a couple verbal offers that just weren't even in the same ballpark that we said, just save your time, essentially, out of respect. So if we had kept that going, I mean, I would have just continued showing it. But it speaks to what buyers are looking for. And even though the house was, somewhat dated and had some features that people will want to update, it's still the land. We always talk about the value is so much in that land. A level lot, a walk in Sandy Beach with a sunset view, and in a great location, not terribly far, all the way down Moultonborough Neck. It's a short drive to town, but it's great location by boat. So all of these factors kind of added up and it kind of turned into a little bit of a frenzy. And great. I mean, it all worked out fantastic for our sellers. They're thrilled, but it goes to show that the market is not slow if you have the right features.
Yeah, and it's interesting enough, just before this weekend, I was doing our Winnipesaukee blog on the update of the market, comparing specifically last September to this past September. And the numbers show a bigger listed sale price ratio range. It's not selling above 100%. It's the longer days on market.
Yeah.
So a lot of these things that we see, it was a lower average sales price. So all of the statistical things are showing less, but there are one-offs happening where it has the check boxes for many people and there are many buyers still out there.
Yeah.
And that tells you, one, if you're a seller, you need to be prepared on how to assess different properties and offers and how to have that structured so our client is in the most secure contract with the best terms that they could have had for the best ROI. And also from a buyer standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, the buyer's agent is so important.
Mm-hmm. And I would say even more so too, because there's some changes as we've talked about with waterfront sales. You're required now to do a septic evaluation, where a general septic inspection used to be something you could just waive altogether. There's components that we can't eliminate. So how do you position yourself against other offers to still be able to do that from a state requirements aspect, but also waive a contingency or put your best foot forward. I will say I've seen less escalation clauses than we used to see. 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, I feel like we'd get 6 offers all with escalations and they would cancel each other. It turned into a little bit of a mess. Now we've seen less of those. They still exist, but I think buyers are coming in. They know what they're willing to pay. They give you a straightforward offer, and it's really. And these buyers acted very quickly. All of them acted within 6 days of us listing the property. So.
And most of the time, if you ask us, we would say it is more of a market for an inspection contingency, a financing contingency. But there also are certain situations happening where it's still most people are waiving on certain properties with multiple offers all contingencies at some points, and it just kind of depends property to property, and that's how we guide our sellers as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. So still, I think that the moral of the story is like, yes, some things have changed in the market, but for a lot of things are still hot. Things
Yeah.
are still moving, and they will continue to move for the right features and for the right property. So
Yeah. And if you're interested in learning from a seller's perspective or a buyer's perspective, what contracts are looking like and how you can strategically place yourself in the best position to either buy a property or sell a property, just let us know.
thanks.